Hi everyone, and welcome to episode number 183 of the Karen Knits podcast. My name is Karen, and I'm coming to you from South Central Pennsylvania, where I live, where I work, where I knit, and get into all kinds of other crafting shenanigans. I'm so happy to have you here with me today. I'm filming this a day early. It is Friday, October 27th, and I will be uploading this to go live tomorrow on Saturday morning. So I'm going to be out on Saturday from about 9 in the morning until early evening. So I'm not going to have a chance to film on Saturday or to do a podcast. I'll be filming other things for you on Saturday, but I won't have a chance to film a regular episode on Saturday. So I'm going to get it done today and get it uploaded for you for tomorrow to see on Saturday morning. So, and you'll see tomorrow all the stuff I'm going to be up to on Saturday. So I've had a busy week. I had busy things at work and through my hubby's work, and I have got a fair bit of knitting done, but it doesn't seem like I have a lot to show you. Oops. Anyway, so I've spent some time this past week working on my October sort of shorty socks, and they're being made with yarn from my Orlando Fiber Arts 50-gram sock yarn 12-day advent calendar. And I bought this last year, and I opted for using each of the 50 grams over the 12 days. I open them up one per month. And I've made a pair of socks each month, a pair of sort of shorty socks each month with the 50-gram skeins. So these are my October socks. And when I saw you last week, I was here. And I think I had about 5 rounds to do left on the foot before it was time to start doing the gusset increasing. And now the gusset increasing is complete, and I'm ready to get started on the heel. So I'm doing these 2 at a time, toe up. I'm doing an contrasting toe. The heel turn and heel flap will be in the bare as well. Then I will rejoin the main color and go until I run out of yarn, completely run out of yarn. Then I do a couple, 2-3 rounds of the ribbing in the bare yarn and call it done. So I'm going to try something a little bit different on the heel turn this time. I'm roughly following the pattern from the Magic Mashup sock recipe. I'll put a link to the pattern that I loosely base these on, and the way she does the heel turn, I'm going to try it a little bit different this time to see if that makes it easier to pick up the stitches. Shauna from Shauna Stitches had wondered about that in a comment or a Ravelry private message she had sent me a little while back, and I've been mulling it over, and I think I'll give it a try to see if I can do the heel turn a little bit different and see how that works. And I'll keep you posted and let you know how it does work. So all that's left on these is to do the heel turn, heel flaps. Then I need to do 25 rounds in the basic color, the main color, and then I will switch to a 2x2 ribbing until I'm completely out of yarn, which usually takes about 10 to 13 more rounds. And then I switch over and finish it off with a couple rounds in the bare yarn. So those are my toe up sort of shorty socks, and I hope to have them done by next week. I really do hope to have them done by next week, because if not, then that'll be the first pair on my sort of shorty socks that I've done each month that I have not finished in the proper month. So I really do want to have these done before Tuesday is over so that they are finished in October. And then I'm ready to open up day 11 in the 12-day calendar. So I only have 2 more yarns to do from that advent calendar. And I have absolutely loved doing this past year. And I am going to do something similar in the upcoming year where I will be making a pair of mismatched socks each month out of a advent calendar I got. And I'll talk a little bit more about that when I talk about acquisitions towards the end of the episode. The other thing I worked on a fair bit this past week is my GeoGradient MKAL. And I'm still behind. Clue 4 came out yesterday. I'm not even I'm probably about a quarter of the way through the first part of Clue 3. It's slow going for me. I think a lot of people have commented in the different Ravelry threads to just embrace your pace. If you're a slower knitter and don't have the time, just go with the flow and enjoy it. I have looked ahead at some of the spoiler pictures for Clue 4, so I know what the final shawl will look like. And I thought I accidentally saw a spoiler picture earlier in the week for Clue 3, and I had a suspicion of what the final part of the clue was going to look like, or at least the shape, but I hadn't wanted to see what the clue actually looked like. And I was just scrolling through YouTube, and there was the picture of the finished Clue 3. Someone had it laying across the back of their couch, and I saw the picture. And so after that, I thought, I may as well just go and look at some more spoiler pictures. And then once Clue 4 came, since I'm so far behind on Clue 3, I thought let's just go take a look and see what it's like. Because once Clue 4 is released, it's kind of fair game for not worrying about spoilers on the design. So I'm going to show you my progress on Clue 3, and I will put a spoiler alert up here just in case you're farther behind than I am and you have not seen the spoilers. I suspect everyone has seen at least what Clue 3 is going to look like by now, since I'm behind. So I will put a spoiler picture up. So the yarn I'm using, I'll talk about that in just a second. The yarn I'm using for my GeoGradient is Whole Super Soft, and I'm using 4 colors. They're different shades of gray. So it starts with, I didn't write them down again, and I've forgotten again this week. What is the first one? You'd think I would have learned from last week, but no. So the darkest color is Graphite. The second color down the gradient is Slate Gray. The second color is Flannel Gray. And the first one, I think Silver Gray, I think is the first one, the lightest color. But anyways, they're all 4 shades of grays from Whole Super Soft. And I'm quite enjoying the knit. It's not an overly complicated knit, although with Clue 3 I'm finding that I'm having to keep track of do this, then this, then this, then this. So I'm kind of doing a little bit of counting to keep in the rhythm, but it's all good. So I'm going to show what my shawl looks like now, and it's still going to look like a scrunchy bunchy mess because it's still on the needles. Where is my needle gone here? It's still on the needles, and I can't even figure out which is the top and bottom. Is that the top? I think so. Is that, or is that the bottom? I'm just trying to figure out where I am. That is the top. So while you're working on Clue 3, it's separated into 2 parts, and one part is still on a spare set of needles, and I've got a fancy little stitch holder, I just have my needles and I just take a hair elastic and just wrap it around and around and around, and it holds my needles together so that it doesn't get lost. Fancy stitch or needle protectors or point protectors. Use what you got. So, there come the fire trucks. Hang on. I don't know if they're going past in front or the other way. I won't know for a couple moments. Yeah, here they come. Oh, one of them has gone by. There might be another one coming soon, but I'll see if I can get through this without. Yeah, I think I hear another one coming. Anyhow, that's the bottom again. So I'm going to show my progress on where I'm at with this shawl right now. So if you have not seen the spoiler yet and you don't want to see what the final product is going to look like, it's time to look away now, and I will let you know when it's safe to look back again. So in 3, 2, 1, look away. So here is where I am now. So again, it's hard to show because I have a bunch of stitches that are held on the spare needle on this side, and I'm working on the other side right now. So we have the center portion, which was clue 1, and then going around up until here. This is the second portion, and that mirrors on the opposite side. And then I have the beginning of my clue number 3. And we have a start on that right now. And I'm having trouble keeping track of what's the top and the bottom of this right now. But here's where I am on clue number 3. So I've gone through the 4 colors once, and we have to go through several more times. It does decrease every second row, so every 2 rows I'm 1 stitch shorter. So it'll eventually keep decreasing until I have it brought down to only a small number of stitches. So I've quit showing it now. So I've done just part of clue 3, part of the first half of clue 3. So I don't expect I will get this done very soon. I'm going to spend more time in the next couple days working on my October socks so I can get those finished so that I can be ready to start more socks on the 1st of November. So that's it for my works in progress. I showed this on one of the days on my Vlogtober post. I had come in the mail the other day my MKAL advent calendar, and someone had commented about they wouldn't be able to show restraint. This is the only time I'm able to show restraint. So there are the 24 little packages for my MKAL advent calendar. I'm going to be, what the plan is, I will open 1 per day through December, and I will be using each of them, there's 24 20-gram skeins of yarn in there. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take each of the 24 skeins and make one sort of shorty sock. I'm going to be using this pretty gray yarn, which is also MKAL, and I will be using that for the toes, the heels, and part of the cuff. So the plan is after day 2, I will have opened the second sock or the second yarn, and I will take day 1 and day 2 and I will do my 2 at a time sort of shorty socks. And the plan is that I will do the toes in the gray, then I will introduce day 1 and day 2 in each of the 2 socks, and do my same recipe that I do for my sort of shorty socks. I'll do 55 rounds up until, or I'll do 55 rounds in 64 stitches. Then I will do my gusset increasing, which does up another 20 rounds. Then I will switch to the gray yarn again, and I will do the heel turn and heel flap. Then once that is done, I will reintroduce each of the 20 grams, and I will continue up the foot or up the leg until I completely run out of yarn. I will probably do them at about 15 rounds on the leg and switch to the cuff, doing a 2x2 ribbing. It'll be done the same kind of style as these guys are done. I will see how far I can go with about 15 rounds in the main color. And then whenever I run out of that, I will switch to a 2x2 ribbing and then finish it off in the white yarn, or it'll be gray yarn for these guys. So I'm excited to get started with that project, but that won't be until, the earliest will be the 2nd of December. So that is a project I will carry through and do all the way through 2024. And I'm aiming to do 1 pair of mismatched sort of shorty socks each month throughout the year. And by the end of the year, I will be in the same place I will be at the end of this year, with 12 pair of socks. And those will all be mismatched. This year I will have 12 pair of socks that are pairs that match. With this advent calendar, there will be 24 mismatched socks. Toes and heels and cuff will be the same. The rest of the sock will be different. So I'm excited to start that out. So that's my acquisitions. I'll probably have something else to show you next week, because on Saturday morning I'm going to be going to the Frederick Fiber Festival in Frederick, Maryland, and I suspect I'll probably buy a little bit of yarn. I'm going to try to show some restraint and maybe only buy 1 or 2 50-gram skeins of yarn. That's the plan. We shall see what happens. So I'll probably have more yarn to show you next week. And the other thing I wanted to mention, and I had planned on getting this started earlier, was to do a sort of shorty, kind of like a scrappy sock make along. And I was planning on getting that started in October, and here we are, the 27th, and I haven't started that yet. Oops. So I am planning on starting a relatively informal scrappy sock, or any kind of sock make along, starting November 1st. So it'll run from November 1st through the 31st of December. So 2 months. I am going to start a pair of sort of shorty scrappy socks, and I will be using, oh, you can't see it. Let me move him over. This is heavy. So this is full of all kinds of scrap yarns. It's all yarns I dyed myself, and almost all. There's a couple that are not mine in there. But I'm going to make at least 1 pair of sort of shorty scrappy socks using some of the yarns in there. I haven't decided if I'm going to try to have the stripes match a little bit or not. I will decide that along the way. But I am going to start on the 1st of November. I'm going to start doing a pair of sort of shorties. And if anyone wants to join me in any kind of sock knitting make along. You don't have to finish them. If you've already started a pair of socks and you want to add them in, the rules are going to be very loosey-goosey. I'm going to be making a pair of toe-up sort of shorty scrappy socks using some of the yarn in that. I will be using the bare yarn for the toes and heels and some random mix of the yarn that's over in that crystal cookie dish or cookie jar. I think that's a cookie jar. Anyway, so I'm going to open up a group on my Ravelry page, or my Ravelry group, which I haven't used that page in ages, that group in ages. So feel free to come over there and post anything about your socks that you're working on or that you're starting. Anything goes. I will probably have some small prize at the end. I'll probably draw something for someone at the end of it, whether it's just for entries of people that have joined the discussion about socks or have finished, whatever. I just want to see if anyone wants to join me doing a relatively informal make along. And I'm also going to, and for that one the hashtag will be hashtag Scrappy Sock MKAL 2023. I'll put the hashtag in the description. So Scrappy Sock MKAL 2023. And it doesn't have to be scrappy. If you don't want to do scrappy socks, that's fine. If you don't want to do sort of shorty socks, that's fine. Everything is fine. Like I say, I'm not going to be sticking to really hard, fast rules on this. This is just for fun. They can be crochet, they can be knit. Doesn't matter. They can be ones you've already started and you want to finish. That's cool. I'm also planning on doing another informal, very short range, I don't call it it's not really a make along, it's a join along. What I do, and if you've been with me for any time over a year or longer, every fall during the Thanksgiving break, I have about 10, 11 days off work over the Thanksgiving break in the US. So unofficially, my Thanksgiving break starts the Thursday morning right after, or the Thursday morning a week before Thanksgiving Day in the US. So once I finish teaching my last class on that Wednesday afternoon, I'm unofficially on break. The break itself starts that weekend from the university, and we don't have to be back to work until the following Monday. So I have roughly 11 days. And every year during the Thanksgiving break, and I've been doing this for quite a few years now. I've vlogged about it the last few years, but I've been doing this for years now. What I do is I have what I call my Thanksgiving week, Whip It Down week. And this will be the 2023 edition. So what I do during this week is I will take out every single work in progress I have, which for me right now, it's never a large number. There's not anymore, it's not a large number, because I just start to feel overwhelmed with too many whips. I know other people love lots of whips. I don't like lots of whips for myself personally. I currently have 3. And one of them I expect to be finished before November begins, but then I'll be starting 2 new ones. So anyway, but what I do is I take all of my whips and I spend each day during my Thanksgiving break, I will spend the entire day, all my spare time, each and every day I will focus on, so the first day I'll focus on one of my whips. The second day I will focus on the next WIP. The third day, the third WIP, and then I'll cycle back to the first one. And so that way I am spending some time every single day working on every single one of my WIPs. And the hope is that I can finish something. Doesn't always happen, but I always put a dent in every single one of them. During the Thanksgiving break, I don't have huge commitments. We don't do a huge family Thanksgiving meal at our place. The hubby and I are actually going to be going away to an Airbnb for a few days during the break. So I'm going to have lots of spare time. We're just going to go for some rest and relaxation and knitting for me. So if anyone is interested in joining me for a Whip It Down 2023, make along, join along, whip it down along. I don't know what I'm going to call it, but I think I'm going to call it the hashtag Whip It Down 2023 or Whip It Down Thanksgiving 2023. I haven't decided for sure on the hashtag. And that will run from November 16th till November 26th probably. I might add one day on either end of that. But it's just a short 11, 12, 13 day period. You don't have to finish anything. You just need to, if you want, join in and just work on some projects. Get some work on whipping, getting your whips down. You can use the scrappy socks or the socks that you're doing in the other KAL. You can double dip and do both of them, because I will be working on my scrappy socks during Whip It Down week. So if you want to join in with that, that would be fantastic. I will be opening up a page or a thread in my Ravelry group for that whip closer to the middle of November. And I'll talk more about what's what with that. Make along, join along down the road. So I hope you'll join me on one or the other or both of these. If not, I'll just happily just do what I always do, just keep knitting. But on that note, I am running out of time on my memory card. This is gonna shut down on me in a couple minutes. So that's about it. I think I shall let you go. Hubby and I are going to get ready. We're going to go out and have some pizza and go spend some time in a park because it's a gorgeous autumn day. So check out the vlog on earlier Saturday morning. You'll have seen that. And otherwise, take care, and I will see you guys again soon. Bye.